welcome back to Ski Play Live TV. Now normally my videos are very light and fun and we talk about gear and I have interviews. However, this is my tale of woe. About a month ago, my daughter took a very long shower and the water from my septic system backed up into my house. It wasn't huge, just a little bit of water making like a puddle down here in the basement. And then all hell broke loose because of it. I needed to dig a hole outside and try and diagnose what the problem was. I snaked through the drain that was in the house and the pipes, there was no clog, no problem there. So then they all surmised that it was a problem with my septic system. And so I hired this guy to come out and dig a hole and tell me what was wrong. Well, he comes out, oh, and let me tell you that he gave me an estimate of $600 to dig a hole. $300 to get his Mini X out here and up onto my driveway area, and then $150 an hour. And I said, how many hours do you think it would take? And he said, 1 or 2. So I said, so around 600. And he said, yes. Well, I come back, I wasn't here when he did it, I come back to a bill for $975, and then an estimate of $11,000 because he takes one look at my hole, not like that. One look down at my septic tank. He didn't test anything, he didn't snake anything, he didn't do anything other than say, yep, your drain field's done and you need a new one, and we have to put it in the back of your house, which is up the hill, which would require another septic tank and a pump tank in between to move everything from one septic system to another. And that required a ton of maintenance, which I'm not really good at. And I freaked and I said, go away, I need to get other opinions. Well, he didn't like that. Oh, not to mention go away and here's $675, not $975. You should have checked with me first. Well, he was pissed. And so he contacted the health department of our county and got them on my case. So within about a week, I got a letter called a notice of violation saying that I needed to repair my drain field within 10 days, like get a crew up here and fix it in 10 days, or my house would be condemned and I face criminal charges. I talked to a lawyer, I filed an appeal to dismiss the motion, and luckily I was able to get a suspension on that violation. And so what I have done is I purchased this thing called a Septic Genie, which is like a Hail Mary. I do want to look at my drain field and see if there is a problem. It hasn't backed up since, and the ground doesn't stink, it's not wet, it's not mushy, it does not have any of those symptoms that supposedly determine a failed drain field. I don't have that. So I think that's what the suspension is. Well, we'll come back out in a month and see how you're doing. So that's why I got the Septic Genie, because I will have a month to try and see if I can make things a little better. In the meantime, I do have some septic excavators that have come and given me an estimate, not $11,000, more like $6,000, which is still a huge amount of money, but that's half. This guy, don't go to him. I'll do a Yelp, I'll put the link in there so then you know who I'm talking about, but right now I'm not even gonna go there. But let's talk about the Septic Genie. It's about $1,300. It comes with this tank, and it has bacteria inside the tank. And we're gonna take this bubble wrap off, but the bacteria is inside, and you lower it down into your septic tank, and it's aerobic bacteria that eats the stuff, the bad stuff that's in your septic tank. And then it will actually, when we put an air filter that also comes with it, when we hook those two things up, it actually generates aerobic bacteria that will go in, eat all that stuff, get pushed out through your pipes into your drain field, and supposedly eat everything that might be clogging your drain field and actually restore your drain field without having to tear up anything, put it into no place, get a design, all that stuff that they're claiming that I need to do. So this is the air filter. And so what happened was I ordered it online. 2 boxes came at 2 different times, so I had to wait for them both to show up. We pulled out the air filter. It's this little guy, right? He's not so big, but he's kind of heavy. And we plugged it in, and it didn't work. So we immediately panic, call the company, say, it doesn't work. And then we open it up and we found out, so you have to take all these screws off. There's actually a little switch that you hit and then it makes it work. Funny how that is. And so then we plugged it in because the whole plan was to put it downstairs in here and keep it protected from the elements and the weather. But we plugged it in first. And this is how it sounds. I don't know if you can hear me over this, but definitely not something you want to have running in your living room. So again, I call the company in a panic. And I say, this is way too loud. I don't know where to put it. It's going to disturb my neighbors. And they have promised me that once I hook it up to the actual Septic Genie, that the sound won't be like that because it's creating a back thing. But when I cover this, I'm still hearing some noise. So we'll see how it goes once we put it in. But we've got pipe. I have my friend helping us, so it's just a couple of girls doing some DIY. Take a look. They told us that if we're leaving the air filter out, that we should put it in a box and insulate it. So my friend Bonnie had this brilliant idea that we just get an insulated box. And we found an old trashy Coleman cooler that we've poked holes in so from ventilation so it doesn't overheat, and we're going to paint it brown. I already got the lid brown so that it won't stand out on the side of the house. So we're going to put the piping into the riser, and it's just regular PVC pipe with 90-degree elbow joints that we've glued on, and the pipe will run down the side of the house, and we're going to put the box right there so that we can plug it into the outlet that's up here, and it can run. It is supposed to run 24/7, but the guys at the home office said we can unplug it at night so it doesn't make a whole bunch of noise and then turn it back on in the morning. So we drilled a hole in the riser, and there must hold some water because all of a sudden we sprung a leak. But as you can tell from the other image of inside the riser, that particular bad liquid is way down below, not right at this point. And we're just hoping that it flushes out. It is clear water and it doesn't smell. Okay, it is time to lower the Septic Genie.
She's got the dogs to help here.
I have the dogs to help me. This is Stella and this is Dakota. They probably just like the smell around here. And we're gonna lower it into the septic tank. We have the PVC pipe attached.
Okay,
it's
move
not
it.
that heavy. Hopefully I don't drop it as I lower. Whee! Okay, down in the middle. And there it goes.
Oh, you can hear the...
You can hear it filling up. And it's definitely deep down there. And we tied an extra rope on here so that we can still pull it up later on if I need to. If it doesn't work and I need to return it, I can pull it back out here, stick it back in the box, and send it on its way. So it's in, and it's bubbling. Let's go try and hook these pipes up and then hook it up to our air filter. And now for the moment of truth. How long has it taken us? About 3 hours, maybe? It's about 3 hours of girl power putting this together. We've got the air pump in the insulated cooler box. Smart, huh? We don't have to get a box and insulate it. And it's running through the box out over to the septic tank. And we put holes in it so it won't overheat, and there's some ventilation. Later we'll probably put some mesh to keep bugs and water out. And we're gonna plug it in. Here we go. Da 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 da. And now it's a lot quieter than it was.
Put the lid on it.
And now we'll put the lid on it. It's got a low hum. We are supposed to run this 24/7 to keep the septic tank running properly, is what they said. Apparently, the anaerobic bacteria that we are generating from the Septic Genie is it'll eat all the nasty stuff that's in your septic tank, unlike anaerobic bacteria, which just breaks it down and lets it settle. So the claim is that we'll have less pumping needed, and that saves me about $400 each time. So now we're going to empty the extra bag. Here, come in and watch it bubble. Ooh, it's bubbling.
It's super stinky.
It's super stinky. Now, we wondered why it was extra smelly, and they even put it in the instructions. It's cooking down there, and it stinks. It's so bad. But
Okay, pour the stuff in.
they accounted for it. So apparently it smells so bad because they're, all of the solids and stuff, the effluent is what it's called, is being stirred up. The instructions say this is normal and expected. The odor will typically abate within 24 to 48 hours and will not return so long as Septic Genie is properly operated with no stress events or toxic shock to the bacteria community. The Septic Genie itself has some bacteria already in it, and then they ask us to add some more bacteria to it. And in it goes! I don't want to waste any of this stuff. Whee! Hope I don't fall
And
in.
in she goes.
Yeah. And we did it. People said it couldn't be done, but it's done and it's working, and we'll see. I'll check back in a little bit and do an update on how my septic system is moving right along, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't smell, and hopefully our baffle and our water starts to look a little clearer.
Oh my
Thanks
God.
for checking it out.